Hello everyone, my name is Alexandre Gillion, I'm a lawyer. I work in Lyon in France. I'm assisting people all over the world who want to come here and live in France. We specialize in immigration law and citizenship, and we offer assistance for everyone in France, but also for people who live overseas. What I would like to talk to you about today is very simple and start with a question. Would you remove yourself to own tooth? And basically, that is the idea when someone wants to do everything by himself or herself when it comes to immigration application. And the purpose of this video is to explain to you why do you need a lawyer to assist you in coming here legally. And I would like to start this explanation with the first, I think, argument to why this is a good idea. The first one is to avoid making a very costly mistake. And what I mean by costly, I mean expensive. I mean, it will come down to the fact that you are going to spend a lot of money, wasting that money, and overall, you will not achieve the goal you set for yourself, which could be getting a residence permit, long stay visa application, or even citizenship. And first of all, to go around it is people think that by not coming and to see a lawyer, they will save money. And basically, it's the other way around. Because let's speak frankly, most people don't know much about this field, and they're not lawyers. And so you think that by doing it on my own, I will save money because it's easy, but of course it isn't. And so by thinking like this, you are going to make mistakes, and in the end, you have to see someone to help you, a lawyer. And while the lawyer could have assisted you in the first place, and you will pay, I don't know, X amount of money, well, in the end, because of the mistakes you made, the time you lost, you are going to pay more money to get the same result. While it could even be not the same result, it would be a lesser one, because it's always harder to come after someone who has made many mistakes, because once they know about you, once you have done the application and it has not gone through, well, it's harder to go after you and try to clean it up. So that leads to the other part of this argument is once the mistake is done, we cannot undo it, and so we have to live with it and we have to work with it. And for the same application, let's say, I'm going to give you an example. You do an application to get the long stay visa visitor because you want to come to France and live here for a while. You don't have the right to work, but you still have enough money or income not to work in France. You do the application through the French Consulate, and you forget to give them some documents, let's say something relating to your health insurance, or your insertion policy is not the one they are looking for. You do your application. They reject your application because you don't have the right documents. And then you say, shoot, I should have done it in the first place, but maybe this time I'm going to a lawyer first and have some advice before I do it again. Okay, you call us, we explain to you how it works. And then you say, well, maybe I want him to do it for me because it's going to be easier and I'm going to lose less time and I have higher chances of success. Yes, you're going to lose less time. However, you have already done one application, and basically to say it like this, but they will maybe not trust even the second application, because they've one time you have made a mistake and then you apply again even for a lawyer, and then they see the same documents and or different documents, and maybe they don't trust you anymore. So in such a cases, they will reject the application, saying that your documents are unauthentic, and so you have to go to court. And so by making the first mistake, in the end, well, you have jeopardized the entire application, and that's why a lawyer is very useful, especially in the beginning when you are planning about it, like 6 months before applying. That's the best time you want such an assistant. And when you have to go to court, well, then you don't have the choice anymore. You need a lawyer to go to court. But the lawyer chances of winning your case in court really in our field depends greatly on the application that has been done in the first place. To say differently, you do the application on your own, you face a rejection, we go to court. Let's say we have a 50% chance of winning the case. We do the application on your behalf, there is still a rejection, and we go to court. And then we maybe have a 65 to 80% chance of winning your case. And this is the real difference, and that's why I think, in the end, having a lawyer assisting you in your application, either for a long stay visa or residence permit or anything related to immigration law in France, will save you money, because you will spend maybe more in the beginning, but if there is an issue, then it will cost you less by being assisted by a lawyer. And if you had done on your own, then the assistant will cost you more with less results. So if you don't want to make that very costly mistake that will be very expensive, come to see a lawyer first, because in the beginning, as I said, it will cost you less and you have higher chances of success. My other argument regarding why do you need a lawyer if you want to come and live in France and work here is to gain time. Time also is money, but time is precious. Maybe you want to use time to spend it with your children, with your wife, with your spouse, on holidays, and maybe you don't want to lose 15 hours looking on the internet with very poor quality information that you cannot really trust. And so most people will do that in the first place. They will ask an IA or they will go online to the government website and look at it and say, well, it doesn't look that complicated and seems to fit my case. So maybe I'm going to try it on my own. And so because you don't know what's expected of you and you don't know the law, you will start your application. But they will ask you for other documents because of course you didn't provide the right one. And so you will do the application. They will ask for new documents. Maybe you don't have them, so they will reject the application. You will have to do it again. Or maybe an application that would have been done in 3 months will take, 8 months, 10 months. Why? Because you didn't do it properly in the first time. And so this is what I mean. You are going to lose your time going around it because you are not going to be able to figure out what is really expected of you because it's not your job, because you don't have any experience, and because what you can read online too often seems very simple. I'm going to give you a very simple example. There is a law that provides for people with family ties in France. And let's say you have like your sister who lives in France and maybe even your mother, but you have lived in your country for your entire life, and maybe you think, well, I have a family in France. Maybe I can apply to get that residence permit for family ties in the country. Of course you cannot, because even if that's what the law says, that's not at all how they look at it and how a Préfecture or French Consulate will look at your case. But because what they mean exactly by family ties is that you don't have any other family in the rest of the world, and that you have like worked in France for 5 years, that you have done your studies here, that everything in your life is in the country. And so this is what they really mean, but that you don't know. And then even worse, you go online and maybe you ask questions, and every time you get answer, and sometimes you look at the answer and say, yes, that's what I really want to hear, but is that the truth? No, it is not. And so you convince yourself that your case is good while it is not, and so you carry on in the same pattern, which overall makes you lose, as I said, a lot of time, because you have to check all the time if this is right, if it isn't, and in the end you try it, not enough information, and you hope it's going to go through, and maybe like one case is at 50, maybe it happens, maybe, I'm not even sure of it, but there is 49% chance that your case don't go through, and then you have still to find a lawyer to assist you, because your goal remain the same, to live here in the country. And so you really need a lawyer to not lose all that precious time you have by doing things that are never going to work. And you come to see a lawyer, he will or she will tell you, yes, that is what we need to do because that is your situation, and you don't have the ability to know what is your situation. So here you already are going to gain time by knowing exactly what you need to shoot for. This is the first idea. And then afterwards, what do I need to get this residence permit or this long stay visa? Well, we know what you need and we know what you don't need. So sometimes people, they come to me and they ask me, does this document works or this one works? Well, I know that, but if you don't, well then who are you going to ask if you don't have a lawyer that's going to help you and assist you in your application? So really gaining time, I think, is very important, and however you put it, the time you are going to spend is never going to be well spent by doing such an application on your own. And so you should really think about, how do I want to use my time? Is it losing my time and trying to make something work where I'm not even sure it's going to work? Or maybe should I find the right counsel that will assist you, and I will gain all that time to do other stuff that are going to be, that you're going to enjoy more than reading about immigration on the internet, and also reading stuff that's not really accurate or the truth. Last thing I believe is also important is that when you have a lawyer that assists you when you apply to get a residence permit or long stay visa, is that when you face the French administration, you face people, they've been doing this for a long time, longer than you have, and so they will tell you stuff and you would think that, maybe they're right, maybe what they are telling me is the truth, because they are the administration, they know about this stuff. Well, they don't, but so do you. So in the end, they don't know much about the law, but from where they are standing, it's easier for them to tell you, well, that's not true, or that you cannot do. Maybe you can, but you don't know that. And so by having a lawyer assisting you, he or she will tell you, no, you are right to do so, and the administration is lying to you by telling you that's not possible. I had the case where people, they were living in France, they were working for their government in the country, and so they had what we call the titre de séjour spécial du ministère des Affaires étrangères. So it's like a residence permit that's given to foreigners that are working in France for their government. And so they believe, because someone told them that they wouldn't be able to apply to get the residence permit to remain in the country after their contract with the government has ended. And so they were quite desperate because they believed that they had to leave the country. And so we saw them, and I told them, no, it's possible to change your status. However, it requires works. We need to think about it in advance. We need that kind of documents. We need to do that application. And so they were on their own, and by coming to me, we find a way, and they would never have been able to find that way on their own. And so that's why having someone on your side that knows the way, because he or she has been doing this for a long time, is also going to help you and be less stressful for you, because as I said, you don't know, it's not work, you have other things to do, and so it's always going to be very stressful because you will tend to believe what people will tell you, while it's not always the truth, and in most cases it's not even close to the truth. Also, the good thing when you are assisted by a lawyer and that you are not on your own is that when there is a failure in the application, we know what you have to do afterwards. The case, sometimes you get a rejection. Some people, they panic. They think, it's over. There's no way for me to remain in the country. And of course, maybe there isn't, but maybe there is. And so if you have been assisted by a lawyer in the beginning, even if you face a rejection, I will tell you, okay, this is a setback. However, I'm sure that we're going to get through in court. So we have to pursue this. We have to go to court. Maybe it will take a bit more time than one we expected, but I'm sure we are going to get what we want. And that, of course, you won't be able to get on your own. And sometimes maybe you have a good case, but you don't know about it. And so because the administration has rejected your application, you will say, I'm going to leave the country. Maybe you should have stayed and fight this in court. But no one told you that it was possible. So that's also something I think is important to have in mind. Last thing I want to say about this job is complicated. The law change often, and each case is different. And so if you don't have any experience and you don't know the field, it's not possible for you to get it right. And also the fact we have seen many and many cases over many years helps you to understand how it works, but also to think ahead and know what are the risks or what are the advantages of doing this application instead of that application. And so it's important to have that experience and that you don't have. So seeking advice from a legal counsel is also something that will help you with this, because his or her experience will always come in handy when you are going to try to get the residence permit you want to. So in conclusion, some people believe that because it's written on the internet and someone has told them that it is so, they can do it on their own and avoid, let's say, a costly lawyer. The reality is it's not simple, and actually having a lawyer is the cheapest way for you to get what you want, because in the end you will save time, you will save money, because if you have to do it twice, it's going to be more expensive than once, and also you will be less stressed because someone whose job it is will help you and will be there for you. So these are the reasons why I really believe you need to have a lawyer assisting you when you are trying to get a residence permit or long stay visa. So my name is Alexandre Julien. I'm a lawyer in France. If you would like to have more information, feel free to subscribe to this channel and to ask us any questions you want in the comment below.